Thank you, Jordan. Well, guys, great to hear that we're not going to end, and there's obviously much more we want to do. We're all very excited about the future. I just have one other scheduling change. You'll notice at 10 o'clock, Sheila Caplan from the New York Times was supposed to speak. She did an amazingly interesting study. So when the hurricane hit Houston, the New York Times was really interested in the data about what was going on. With all that water was floating by, you saw on the news past the homes, what was going on in that water. So they were trying to get the information, and so they couldn't quite get what they wanted. They couldn't quite get a hold of it all. So they funded a study, which I thought was just a fantastic story. We want the data. We're really excited about the data. They figured out a way to conduct the study, and there's 2 articles out on the tables that explain what they were doing. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us with the hurricane that hit Puerto Rico. She's now over there telling that story. But please follow up, and you can check out her articles from early September and the New York Times. So without further ado, we're going to start our keynote. We're all really, really excited to hear from Marc about all things that have been going on and the continued studies. But one of our gold sponsors, NASA, Kevin Sato, is here to introduce. As you may well know from talking to them in the poster room, they're really excited about the microbiome in the built environment, and they're highly engaged in it. So we're really excited that they could contribute and be part of this conference and part of the conversation. So thank you very much, and we'll start our day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Sato, the NASA Space Biology Senior Project Scientist, and on behalf of David Tomko, who is our program scientist, has been working with Dr. Olszewski, we've been able to collaborate and partner with the Sloan Foundation to support the MoBE postdoctoral fellows. And this conference and the work that you're doing are very exciting to us, in that we are beginning to really take a look at the microbiology of the built environment on the International Space Station. As I think you're all aware, NASA conducts its science and research and exploration in the extreme environment of spaceflight and in the complete isolation of anything else. And so, unfortunately, we can't go out and open doors to vent the International Space Station. And the only way we do any venting is when a new vehicle, such as a Soyuz, Progress, SpaceX Dragon, or HTV from Japan, comes up and berths or docks to the station. We can actually open the door and get a slightly new environment in there. And we are, just to let you know, we are currently conducting several studies on the International Space Station to catalog the microbiology that's up there. That study is in conjunction with actually taking samples from the astronauts to begin to understand the role that the two play on interacting with each other. But certainly, through this meeting, there's a lot that we can learn from your community on how we approach this research and what we do and what we look at. Because certainly we're looking at it from right now as a perspective of what's up there, but there's so much more that we need to learn about in order to understand this, because our next steps are to actually go beyond the magnetosphere, to go beyond LEO, and get back to the moon and also out to Mars. And we're going to be doing this again in confined environments, now where we no longer have the radiation protection of the Van Allen belts. And so we look at the differences and changes in organisms. Now, one of the other things that we are also studying is biofilms. And one of the interesting perspectives is that we are collaborating with our sister group, the Physical Sciences program, to understand how biofilm formation affects materials, causes material corrosion and biofouling of various systems on the International Space Station, which again is going to be important for what we do. And this leads me to the great honor that I have of introducing Marc Edwards. Marc is the Charles Lunsford Professor of Civil Engineering and the University Distinguished Professor at Virginia Tech University. He teaches courses in environmental engineering, applied aquatic chemistry, and engineering ethics. And his research group really aspires to pursue science as a public good through working on practically important yet underfunded topics, such as areas of building, corrosion, and other things related to opportunistic plumbing pathogens. I think most of you are well aware of the important and amazing work that he has done and his team has done to uncover issues with lead in water lines in Washington, D.C., and also the science and engineering that he brought to Flint, Michigan, to turn around the problems and issues families were seeing there. But I think one of the most important things that he also has done with that work is he has brought his students to inspire them to look at what they do in their science and engineering, to not just do things for development purposes, but for the good of the public as well, which I think is extremely important, something that NASA strives to do in terms of inspiring the next generation of scientists. That certainly is inspirational to all of us. Through a lot of his work and papers, he has received many awards and recognition for this work. Just to name a few, he has received the NSF Presidential Faculty Fellowship, which was a White House presented award, the MacArthur Foundation Fellowship, the Praxis Award in Professional Engineering Ethics from Villanova University. He was the 9th recipient in 25 years of the IEEE Barris Award for courageously defending the public interest at great personal cost. He has received, just past year, the Smithsonian Institution Innovation Award, and also the Presidential Medal from the American Society of Engineers, and has also been named by Time Magazine as one of the 100 most influential people in the world, and also the world's 50th greatest leaders by Fortune Magazine. So it's my great honor to introduce Dr. Marc Edwards.